Hello guys, welcome to my channel once again. My name is Joshua, CEO of JBA Consults. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to hire your sales team or how to hire the best sales team. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and let's get right into the video. So in order for you to be able to build a sales team or the best sales team, there are a few things that you would want to consider. And that is what we are going to be discussing in today's video. So brief information, JBA Consults. Basically, we are a recruitment agency. We handle everything from B2B sales outsourcing. We handle everything from sales training, sales strategy, creating of sales strategies, customer support outsourcing, technical support outsourcing, creating sales strategies using ICP, ICB. Basically, that's just a brief information about JBA Consults. So let's get into the actual video why we are here. So the first thing first is to define a clear criteria. So clearly outline the qualities, skills, and experience you're seeking in a sales member. So this might include communication skills, industry knowledge, adaptability, and a track record of success. These are some of the things that people actually look for when they're looking for the best sales team. So if you're someone here who is looking to go into the sales, these are some of the things that you might also want to consider for yourself if you want to actually get hired, because most companies now are looking for the best. They're looking for what would the person who would actually bring results. So that is the first point, and that is define a clear criteria. The next is targeted recruitment. So use targeted recruitment channels to attract candidates with relevant experience in your industry. So leverage platforms like LinkedIn and industry-specific job boards and identify exactly who you want, who it is that you want to be able to have as your sales agent or your sales manager, whatever position title you want to have for that, but you want to make it a targeted recruitment. Third, we have assessment sales skills. So during the interview process, you want to assess the candidates for their sales skills, including communication, negotiation, and objection handling abilities. So use role-playing scenarios to gauge their approach to sales situations. When I was interviewing a lot of candidates for sales positions, I hardly even went over all these steps, but most of the time it was mainly through scenarios. So I have a scenario and then I let the customer or the agent, the person who I'm interviewing, play as the agent, me as a customer. And then I created a scenario to understand how the person is able to answer, how the person is able to communicate, how the person is able to negotiate, how the person is able to handle objections once they come up. So that is something you want to be able to do, assessing the sales skills of the person. And then we move on to results-oriented experience. So here you want to look for candidates with a proven track record of achieving sales targets and driving revenue. So past successes often, or basically past success is often a strong indicator of future performance. So usually what we advise is if you have worked in a field or be looking for somebody, we sometimes look at the recommendations from LinkedIn, for example, from that person. So we look at what others are saying about this person. So especially when it has to do with somebody who was in close proximity with the person, maybe the manager left some kind of recommendation to understand basically what the person did, how the person worked. So that is something that we also look into. So that is what you want to be able to look into. If you want to go into sales, is something you want to focus on. And if you are looking to hire someone, you should also take note of this as well. So cultural fit is going to be the next one. It's something that is quite overlooked. Yes, we understand that it sometimes does happen that you work in an industry, you want to make sure that the person that you're getting can fit into the culture of the office or of the company. So assess whether candidates align with your company culture and values. A cohesive team that shares common goals and values is more likely to collaborate effectively. So you want to make sure that the cultural values of that person do not basically influence or negatively influence the morale of the employees, of who they are going to be collaborating with. And if you're able to identify the right person with respect to their cultural values, you would know exactly where to position those people in a way that they will be able to collaborate effectively once there is a task at hand. So that is something you want to look into as well. Now we move on to the next, which is adaptability. So sales environment is dynamic. It's also always changing. So seek candidates who are adaptable and can thrive in changing situations. This includes being comfortable with new technologies and evolving market trends. So if I'm looking for someone, I want to be able to understand how can this person adapt in this environment. Let's say, for example, something happens in the market and everything turns. How will the person be able to adapt to that situation to be able to still provide the best that he or she can? So if, for example, someone who feels more comfortable working from the office, and then, for example, the pandemic happened, a lot of people had to move into a remote setting. You want to understand how adaptable will this person be to be able to work effectively also in the remote setting as compared to being in the office setting. So what technologies can they actually be able to use or utilize? Should there be, for example, a team meeting, some communication, some kind of collaboration that is needed to be done? You want to be able to identify this as well. So the adaptability of that person is very important in this case. So we move on to the next, which is everybody knows a team player. A lot of times you hear there is no I in team. That plays a very big role also when it comes to hiring the best sales person or this best sales team. So here, while sales can be competitive, a strong sales team also relies on collaboration and can thrive in changing situations. This includes being comfortable with new technologies and evolving market trends. This also, so you want to look for individuals who can work well within a team, share insights, and contribute to a positive team culture. So it's not just about someone who is just going to be in the meeting, just sit down quiet, and then go. Yes, it's good that probably this person might be the best salesperson in the company, but it's very important that we understand that if it's a team, we all help each other in order for the company to grow. The main focus is the company, not the one person. So if you're able to identify someone who has insights or has information, wants to contribute, is comfortable with new technology, evolving market trends, has knowledge in this, understands how it can be positive to the company, and communicates this, becomes part of the team, this is someone that you want to have as your team member in the sales team. So that is something you want to look into as well. Next, continuous learners. This is something that is very important to me because I'm constantly trying to understand how things are different in every aspect. So it's very important that you always find somebody who is in a mode or in this position where they always want to learn. So sales is an ever-evolving field. Look for candidates who show continuous commitment to continuous learning, staying updated on market trends, and refining their sales skills. So even I've been in sales for over 7 years, I still constantly try to take some kind of a course, some webinars or something like this. It's not just that I just want to be a part of it. Yes, it's good for networking and all that, but it also helps me to be able to understand what is going on the market, what is changing, how can I become better. How can I become better at this and then be able to improve on my skills that I already have? Because the skill always evolves, it always changes. So in cases where, for example, you have different objections, the objections change sometimes. In this year, it can be based on, let's say, for example, an objection about COVID. It's not going to be the same objection that is going to happen now. So at the end of the day, understanding or learning and continually advancing in the field makes you, puts you in a position where you grow. So as I always tell my team, always come to the office not 100% full as a cap. So if I have a cup of water, I don't want it to always be full. So that's how I want my employees to come to work, where they understand that maybe they're half full and they need to add some to become completely full. And in so doing, what we're doing is we are adding knowledge, we are adding knowledge, we are adding knowledge constantly. So that is something you want to look into. Now, leadership potential. Even if the role is not explicitly a leadership position, assess for leadership potential. Individuals who demonstrate leadership qualities can contribute to the growth and mentorship of the team. So there are instances where I've worked in a lot of companies where I came as an agent, and even though I'm just an agent, it turns out that I have a lot of people coming to me to ask me, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's very important to identify people like that. Why? Because they have that kind of persona that puts them in a position where they're able to take certain things into their hands and actually handle certain things, even though it's not necessarily their job, but in so doing, they are basically growing the team. Because now, based on the environments that they're in, the people around are all growing exponentially. So it's very important to understand the leadership potential of the person you're going to hire, even though the role is not necessarily a leadership role. And last but not the least, thorough reference checks. So conduct thorough reference checks to verify the candidate's work history, performance, and the accuracy of their claims. This helps ensure that the candidate's qualifications align with your expectations. There are so many times where you will see a lot of people inflate their CVs, they inflate their experience, making it seem as though they've been in certain positions when in reality they've not been in those kind of positions. So it's very important that you do this kind of reference checks to make sure that whatever you want or you expect to get from that particular person, you actually are able to achieve that without necessarily having to now start the whole process again and try to find someone who will be able to give you exactly what you expect, which is something we take very seriously with JBA Consults when we handle services like customer support outsourcing or technical support outsourcing. We want to make sure that the person that we are going to hire is within the expectation of the customer who is looking to hire. So that is something you want to take very, very, very keen note of, and will help you or put you in a position to be able to build the best sales team. So remember, a diverse team with a mix of skills and experiences can bring valuable perspective and contribution to a well-rounded sales force. So regular training, feedback, and support are essential for ongoing success and development within the sales team. So that brings us to the end here. Just to quickly go over the points. So first, we want to define a clear criteria. Targeted recruitment, assessment of sales skills, results-oriented experience, cultural fit, adaptability, team player, continuous learners, leadership potential, and then last but not the least, thorough reference checks. So that brings us to the end of today's video. If you really like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing for more videos in the future. You can even hit the notification bell icon so that once we upload again, you're going to be notified. So you'll be notified, so you'll be able to actually watch that video. And if you do have any questions that you would like me to respond to, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do well to respond to all your inquiries. And that's going to be it for today. Cheers.